Hi, my name's Chris Rowell of askchrisrowell.com, and today I've got Vandana here, and what I do is I get my students to ask me any questions. So Vandana, what's your question?
My question is, what do I tell my family and friends who I want to ask to invest in my business? What do I tell them?
Okay, great question. So I'm assuming you're looking to raise money to invest in a business so you can get started.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a fairly typical question that we get from a lot of students from time to time. As we know, money makes money, and every business needs some kind of financial injection. For me, one of the best ways to raise money is by using credit cards and access to bank funding like that. But in some cases, people don't qualify. So is that something you're struggling with right now?
Exactly.
Perfect. All right, so the way I got started myself was also in exactly the same way. And the thing to bear in mind is a lot of people have an issue and a challenge asking to borrow money from people, because we've always been told, don't borrow money, it's bad and all that kind of stuff. The problem that you've got with that is that your mindset is based on you rather than the other person. So when you have a conversation with somebody, the other party is always thinking, what's in it for me? And what you're thinking about is how you can borrow money from somebody else. So there's zero return to the other party. Whereas if you can just turn the whole mindset around and understand that the very fact with money right now is if somebody's got money in a savings account in a bank, typically the best interest rate at the moment is about 1%. It's next to nothing. So the banks give you 1% a year to give you the false illusion that it's growing in value.
Exactly.
But then you've got this thing called inflation, which is invented by the banks. That brings the value of the money down. So the value of their money is actually eroding. And if inflation's at 5%, then the value of that money halves every 15 years. So with that knowledge, and you know, if you've got a successful business model that you know that you believe in, then when you go to speak to somebody, give them an investment opportunity. So it's completely turning it around, so what's in it for them? And all you need to do is offer them more than what they're currently getting from the bank for it to be a worthwhile exercise for them. Okay? So if you go to them and show them your business model, show them the forecast and how once you've got the money you can then start to make a profit. If they see that, they will invest in you because of you. All right? So you've got to sell yourself a little bit to the other party. Once you've sold yourself and the business concepts and they believe in you, they will invest. Investors are generally motivated by greed, so all you need to do is give them, people are motivated by either greed or fear. So they either want to get away from pain or they want to go towards something. So investors are very much based towards greed, so all you need to do is give them pretty much more than what they're getting right now. You know, if you were to offer somebody 10% return on the money, that's 10 times better than what they're currently getting. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes people get hung up on the cost of borrowing that money as well. So they think that 10% or even 20% or whatever it takes, whatever you need to offer to get the investment, people focus on the cost. But what smart people do is they look at the value. So if the only way that you can get started would be to borrow the money, even if you'd never have to pay this, but even if you were to borrow at 100% interest rate, I mean it's a ridiculous interest rate. But if you were to borrow, 100,000 to start your business and then had to pay back 200,000, if that 100,000 investment would make you $1 million in the time frame that you've got it, then you're in profit. So look at the bigger picture.
And what is the time frame? What should I?
Again, what would you like to happen? So when you go to the investor, you agree that deal with them as well. So don't have it set in stone. Have a conversation. What are they looking for as well?
Okay.
So what I would suggest is whatever you're going to offer as well. If it's going to be 12 months, aim to pay it off sooner, because you'll probably find they want to lend you some more then as well.
Okay.
Is that okay? So great question.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. And if you've got a question for me, go to askchrisrowell.com and I'll do my best to answer it for you.